All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. And what I want to get into today is the importance of wisdom. Okay. The importance of wisdom. Okay. Because as the scriptures say, let's get it real quick. All right. In the book of Second Thessalonians chapter 2. All right. Because we as a people, when you go Second Thessalonians 2 and 3, it said, let no man deceive you by any means, for their day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Okay? And we had to fall away. And what do we fall away from? Well, we fall away from wisdom, because within true wisdom is understanding who we are, understanding who our power, all right, who our power is, understanding our purpose, understanding righteousness, okay, understanding righteous rulership, okay, righteous judgment, all that, comes within wisdom, as the scriptures, describe wisdom, okay, being manifold and many, wisdom has many attributes, and we fell away from all these things or treasures of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, okay, and this was a punishment for us, for disobedience, man, that we lost the privilege, okay, of this wisdom, okay, of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. You go here, which the Lord promised to us. All right, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4, it says, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So we fell away, from our heritage, which, beginning with our land. All right, because it was a package deal. The Lord gave us wisdom, all right, to govern ourselves in that land. But as we fell away, we were disobedient. He took away that land and the wisdom. You see? Because we were supposed to govern ourselves in righteousness in that land and be an example of wisdom and righteousness to the nation. And that's what we fell away from as a people. Okay? And through wisdom, let's go here. Let's get let's see. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, because it entails, okay, the attributes, okay, of wisdom. All right, so you get into the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, okay, chapter 7, okay, as King Solomon, goes into the details of wisdom, all right, which he was the wisest king, all right, to ever live. His depth of wisdom, the scriptures say was like likened to an ocean. Okay, and I firmly believe ChatGPT didn't have nothing on King Solomon. Okay, nothing. Okay, and it says wisdom of Solomon. AI in general. AI has its perks. And, it's cute. Okay, it could be a tool. Used correctly. Okay, but just going into the pure wisdom. All right, I wholly believe. All right, that AI had nothing on King Solomon, man. Okay, but this is his viewpoint, okay, of wisdom. Now, Wisdom of Solomon 7:16 says, for in his hands are both we and our words, all wisdom and knowledge of workmanship. For he have given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know, all right, how the world was made, all right, the operation of elements, the beginning, the ending, and the midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons, man. Okay, so King Solomon understood, all right, everything in its detail. You know, the earth, the elements, the minerals. Okay, what's their use? What's their purpose? The seasons, you know, agriculture. He knew all these things. Okay, and these are things are needed to sustain the kingdom. Okay, and as we fell away and became disobedient, we were stripped of these things. Because what? We was going in captivity. You see, because this wisdom is for the ruling class, man. You know, and as the Lord is restoring us back to rulership, He's restoring us back to this wisdom, man. Okay? It says the nature of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, the reasoning of men, you know, psychology, okay? Or Esau will call zoology, the day understanding the animals and their nature. All right, so you can best, you know, manage, okay, creation, man. Okay? This is the wisdom we fell away from, man. The reasoning of men. Knowing how to handle men, knowing how to be amongst the brethren, knowing how to govern and manage men in fairness and judgment, man. Okay? When you understand the psychology, you know, the nature, okay, of animals or men, you're able to judge and make the right decision, man. Okay? It said the diversity of plants and virtues of roots, man, the herbs, man. Understanding the herbs, okay? Their purposes and their use, what they do. Okay? And they all plays a part, okay, in righteous rulership, man. Okay? Because we're in a rulership that promotes, okay, chemicals instead of, you know, the things of nature. Okay? Destruction instead of life. All right? But they call it wisdom and insight. Okay? And it says, the violence of winds and the reasonings of men, the diversity of plants and the virtues of roots, and all such things as either secret or manifest, them I know. Okay? So wisdom, you know, is in depth. Okay? And wisdom, or you keep reading, you see, it's the worker of all things. You see, wisdom is needed in everything, man, every aspect of life. Okay? That's why scripture say, what, let wisdom meet thee in every thought. Okay, so you keep reading down. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 22. It said, for wisdom, which is the worker of all things. You know, when you look at nature and how it functions, all right, you're seeing the wisdom of the Most High. Okay, you see the ecosystem, how every animal has its purpose, the way it was created for its purpose. Okay, the instincts, you know, there's wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. Okay, you know, from things that you would think minuscule. Okay, a maggot doesn't have to be taught to be a maggot. It just has instincts to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, it's like a it's like the detail crew of the Most High. You know, they get rid of things that are harmful. Okay, to the living. You know, and there's so many examples with just, you know, one of trillions of examples. You see of the Lord's wisdom. Okay, and it says, for wisdom, which is the work of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtile, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good. Okay? So wisdom is understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold. Okay? Wisdom is manifold, subtle. Okay, wisdom knows, you know, there's an element of craftiness, you know, to wisdom. You know, and there's a way to be crafty in righteousness, man. Okay, for the sake of justice. You see, and it says loving the thing that is good, quick. Okay, because wisdom is rooted in righteousness and peace, man. You know, you go into the law. The laws is heavy about being considerate. Okay, for your brother, for the earth, for your animals. Okay, for the family. Okay, the law is very considerate of all parties involved. Okay, even the harshness of the law, well, that's out of consideration of the parties that's involved of certain violations, man. And the law is very considerate. Okay, because the law that judges someone harshly, okay, well, that's considering, okay, the person who was violated. Okay, that's why in adultery, the man and the woman, okay, will be out of there, man. Okay, in consideration to the man that was violated. Okay, reading on, it says, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things. See, that's what type of people oversee all things? Rulers. You see, overseeing all things and going through all understanding, pure and most subtile spirits. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passive and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power. All right, she is the breath of the power of the Most High and a pure influence. You see, when we're operating the true wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, we're operating the pure influence from on high. Okay, and this is what we're being restored to, man. This is what we fell away from. And you look at the results of our people not operating in wisdom, man. Look at our own life, man. You look at the results we was getting when we wasn't operating in wisdom, man. Okay, true wisdom from on high. Okay, and it says, for she is the breath of the power of the Most High and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. Okay? You see? This wisdom is not meant, for the corrupt. Okay? That's why if someone is corrupt, well, this wisdom is going to it's going to be a conflict of interest. Okay? Because a corrupt mind doesn't like judgment, doesn't like righteous judgment, doesn't prefer righteous judgment. Okay, so this wisdom, which is all about righteous judgment and discernment, well, it'll be a conflict. That's why, a corrupt mind will cast this wisdom off. Okay, while Esau, he doesn't deal with the wisdom from on high because he's so corrupt. Okay, and it clashes with his agenda, his wicked agendas. Okay, but to those who are upright, who have righteous intention, this wisdom is suitable. Okay. And it says, for she is the brightness of the everlasting, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High and the image of his goodness, man. So this wisdom is a reflection of the goodness of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay. This reflects his righteous judgment, man. You see, the wisdom, okay, of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai is a mirror of the Most High, is an image. Okay. Reading on, and says, and being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And this wisdom is going to renew the earth, man. Okay? This earth is going to be upgraded through what? Through wisdom. All right? We live in a society, where the earth has been downgraded by wickedness, man. Everything is defiled, tainted. Okay? Nothing the earth is not running in this full, capacity, in this full strength, efficiency. Okay, but wisdom is going to renew the whole earth. It's going to renew the people. Okay, excluding Esau, who's going to be eradicated. All right, and the heathen, they're not going to be partake in the covenant. They're not going to have immortality and have access to what we have access to. Okay, but they will enjoy a righteous kingdom after that 1,000 years of rigorous captivity, man. They still be in servitude. Okay, they still be subjects, okay, of the throne of David, of Yahweh Shai. That's going to be forever. Okay? But they're going to have a renewed sense, all right, of living, of what life is under a righteous rulership. Okay? Because wisdom is going to renew everything, man. Okay? It says, in all ages entering in to the holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets, man. Our brothers are, we're those friends of the Most High, as Abraham was called a friend. Okay, but this, this wisdom is given, to the prophets for their office, man. And ultimately, the prophets are what? The next rulers, the forever rulers, man. The joint heirs of Yahweh Shai. Okay, for the Most High loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. Okay, so let's go here. And see, and the Lord loves, when his sons operate, in this wisdom. Okay, and let's go here to the book of Proverbs, chapter 8. Okay, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8. And start at 12. All right, Proverbs 8 and 12. It says, "Our wisdom dwell with prudence, and found out knowledge of witty, okay, inventions." You see, going back to what? Wisdom. And wisdom dwells in prudence, man, which is you go into prudence. Okay. Let's get this word prudence, which is armor. All right, which is what? Shrewdness, craftiness, showing you that there's a righteous way. Okay, because prudence, okay, is is strategy, pretty much strategy. All right, and there is a righteous way to strategize and be strategical about things. Okay, to be crafty in righteousness, man. You see, and it says the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy in the evil way, and the forward mouth I do hate, man. So the fear of the Lord, which is incorporated in wisdom, because there's wisdom to fear Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. To have a high reverence for Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, because it makes us yield to the wisdom. It makes us yield to the instructions, not be willful, man. Okay, it said the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Okay, verse 14, I'm gonna read this in the NLT. It said, "Common sense and success belong to me, insight and strength are mine." Okay, you see, common sense and success. So, counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. Okay, so we've come back to the counsel of true wisdom, and that's all right. Plays a major part in nation building, man. Is with this wisdom. Our kingdom is going to be founded on true wisdom, man. Okay, of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. You see, and the Lord loves none but those that dwell in wisdom. Okay, our strength is operating in this wisdom through faith, man. That's our strength. Applying this real time. Okay, it says, "By me kings reign and princes decree judgment." So by me, by what? By wisdom. Okay, by me kings reign and princes decree justice, man. So by Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, okay, and the wisdom, his wisdom, do kings reign. So we're being restored, all right, to be what? To be kings and to reign. And princes decree judgment. Matter of fact, let's get that in Isaiah 32. What does it say? Isaiah 32 and 1. It says, "Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment." Okay, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. That king is Yahweh Shai. Okay, which is the representative of the Most High's wisdom, man. And this divided amongst us, man. Yahweh Shai divides their wisdom amongst, his brethren, man, beginning with the first fruit. Okay? Let's read this in the NLT. "Look, a righteous king is coming." Oh, Yahweh Shai. He's on the way. "And honest princes will rule under him." And honest princes will rule under him, man. The first fruit. 12,000 men from each tribe. Okay? That eternal righteous government of Israel, man. Okay? So going back to the Proverbs, chapter 8. Okay? And let's read 15 again. It says, "By me kings reign and princes decree justice. By me princes rule and nobles, even all the judges of the earth." Okay, you read this in NLT, Proverbs 8 and 16. "Rulers lead with my help, And nobles make righteous judgment, man, and we're gonna rule the earth in righteousness with the aid of this wisdom from on high forever, man. You know, our brothers are will part of that number. So that was the point. Just wanted to get into the importance of wisdom, man. You know, this is what we coming back to, man. All right, this is what we're tapping into, man. This is what we fell away from. Okay, and wisdom, as the scriptures say, leadeth to a kingdom. Okay, so Lord will you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopefully. Shalom.